We are live. Sure, right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Board of Regents meeting. Wonderful to have you here. I'm going to ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Sure, Ryan, hold on just a second. We have a YouTube issue. Can you hold on, please?
Happy to.
Just want to make sure our link is secure before we proceed. We're now okay. Thank you, Chair Ryan. I'll call the roll. Chair Ryan.
Present.
Regent Balducci. Absence is noted. Regent Bloom.
Present.
Regent Gray Kemp. Absence is noted. Regent Howery.
Present.
Regent James. Absence is noted. Regent Japanen.
Present.
Regent McCarthy.
Present.
Regent Porth.
Present.
Regent Santiago.
Present.
Regent Stewart.
Here.
Regent Wright. Here. Student Regent Grant, who's getting ready for commencement. Absence is noted. Student Regent Sanchez. And I'd like to welcome our ex officios, Dr. Blitz.
Present.
Professor Sasanker, Dr. Sasanker. Absence is noted. Commissioner Bartolomeo. Absence is noted. Commissioner Giuttani. Absence is noted. Commissioner Dahm. Absence is noted. Commissioner Russell Tucker. Absence is noted. Chief Workforce Officer Valeries. Absence is noted. And I'd like to welcome our presidents, President Maduco. Absence is noted. He's getting ready for commencement. President Nunez.
Present.
President Bertolino. Also with a commencement today. Absence is noted. President Toro. Interim President Barron.
I'm present.
President Klonowski.
Present.
Chair Ryan, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Comments from me. I just want to say I have been making the rounds a bit, and I love going to some of the campuses, and my goal by the end of the summer is to be at every one of your campuses, but I've enjoyed a number of fun gatherings, both at Western and Southern, and unfortunately, due to an asthma issue, I cannot get to your wonderful graduation today, President Joe, but I'll be thinking of all of you. I just say that the board started a tradition last year to focus the last board meeting of the academic year on celebrations and success of our students, our faculty, and our staff. Again, I'd like to congratulate our student regents, our chair and vice chair of the Student Advisory Committee, Alex Grant and Luis Sanchez, on their graduations and for representing the Board of Regents at their respective ceremonies. All of the regents appreciate the value of students participating in the governance of the institution. They're thankful that they have continued to lend their voices to the issues facing our students. Congratulations. Congratulations and good luck as you continue pursuing your dreams. I would like to take a moment to congratulate Vice Chair McCarthy, Regent Juanita James, and Regent Sophia Happinen, as the Connecticut General Assembly has confirmed your nominations as CSCU regents. You are thoughtful and dedicated members who are committed to ensuring a quality education for every student. We look forward to your continued success. Congratulations. Quote President Chang, quote, from our classroom instructors to campus leaders and administrators, to our facilities, maintenance, and security teams, to admissions, student affairs, enrollment, counseling, and advising staff, you all played an invaluable role in helping our students persist and complete. On behalf of the Board of Regents, I offer congratulations to the students who are graduating this month, especially noting their outstanding dedication to their academics and unrelenting pursuit of their dreams. Now I turn it over to President Chang for your comments.
Thank you, Chair Ryan, and I just want to personally thank you again for how high profile you have been and how present you have been at so many different system functions. And even today, another example of you just doing whatever you need to do to help lead our board and to help lead our system. Not feeling well, still here in person and carrying out your duties. So I greatly, greatly appreciate that. And of course, thanks to the Board of Regents, our leaders from across the system, and those viewing online today for being here. Today is not like most meetings. It's commencement season, and in that spirit, we get to celebrate and honor the accomplishments of many of our faculty and students. But before we do that, I want to recognize that we are nearing the end of legislative session, and it has not been easy at all. Indeed, it has felt like no other that I or the folks on our team and across the system can remember. We began the session this past January when we announced a plan that offered a transformative vision and an opportunity for a generational investment in CSCU. And unfortunately, that plan did not gain traction with our state leaders this year. And we now find ourselves in a potentially more precarious position than where we even began. We appreciate our state leaders, of course. They put in endless hours. They put in endless hours to doing what they believe is best for Connecticut. And we realize that making a state budget is hard work. It's filled with difficult decisions. Hope that we have made our case, that CSCU is more than worthy of investment. By the time of the June BOR meeting, we will hopefully know what our budget is for that coming 2 fiscal years. So I will have more detailed remarks on that situation at that time. But I will say that we still firmly believe in the tenets of the CSCU 2030 plan: greater student support and access, more investment in faculty and staff, and significant improvements to our physical infrastructure. Continue to push for all three, now and into the future. I also want to take this moment to tamp down the rumors of imminent campus closures. I want to make sure folks hear me say this. There are no imminent campus closures of any kind of any of our campuses around the CSCU system at this time. Every campus will open in the fall. We will have classes. We will have student life. We'll have dorms and sport events, and we will have an even better return, I believe, because as we get further and further away from the COVID pandemic, life will continue to feel more and more normal on every single one of our campuses. Doesn't mean that we don't need to change. It doesn't mean that we aren't going to be frank and transparent with our institutional presidents and CEOs. They have been working so hard, all of them, but working so hard for a long time now. They're going to continue to do so to embrace that change and to continue. These efforts have put the system as a whole in a position to save tens of millions of dollars over the next few years. If the biennium budget puts us in an even tighter position, we will work even more diligently to evolve, to change, to transform, so that we can continue to do what we do best, that serve our students and our communities. We will work even harder, if that is possible, to impress upon our state leaders the incredible value and impact of CSCU, all of our campuses and institutions. So I want to say thank you to all of our faculty, our staff, our students, our administrators, and especially those who have engaged in the legislative process these past 6 months to advocate for our institutions and our system. I've said it before, I'll say it again. No one can tell the story of your campus or your institution better than you. Your efforts are beyond appreciated by me and by our Board of Regents as we continue to adapt to a new landscape. Okay, now on to the celebratory portion of the program. I began my teaching career as an adjunct in 1997, and I became an assistant professor in 2003. And I remember the thrill of each milestone, the humbling honor of recognition times along the way. So I viscerally feel so proud of our faculty and staffs and the students who have been so productive. So this is a summary of their achievements for this academic year. University research grants across our 4 universities, 235 grants totaling over $1.1 million at the 4 universities for promotions and tenure, 38 associate professor to professor promotions, 31 assistant professor to associate professor promotions, 41 tenure appointments across all of our community colleges for promotions and tenure, 118 various staff promotions, 8 instructor to assistant promotions, 12 assistant professor to associate, 20 associate professor to full professor, and 46 tenure appointments. Our PTK winners, 28 community college graduates, 3.5 GPA or higher, involved heavily in campus activities. Our Barnard Award winners, 4 from CCSU, 2 from Eastern, 4 from Southern, and 2 from Western. Graduates with a 3.7 GPA or higher with substantial volunteer service to their CSU or their community. Faculty, staff, and students of our institutions are the lifeblood of CSCU. They're the mosaic of this state that makes it all come together, that makes our industries run and our communities thrive. I want to thank you all for the work that you do for your campuses, your institutions, our system, and our state. So to those of you who have already walked at your commencement, congratulations. It's awesome. It's a huge accomplishment. For those who will soon walk, get ready because it's an amazing experience. Soak it all in because you deserve it. I'll be attending a few commencements personally, and I can't wait to see you there to show my appreciation. So, last, but certainly not least, just announced this morning that Dr. Elsa Nunez, president of Eastern Connecticut State University, will retire following the 2023-24 academic year. As I said in my statement that we just sent out about an hour ago, I have personally benefited from Dr. Nunez's guidance and expertise these past 2 years. Deeply appreciate her commitment to students, academic excellence. And I want to emphasize that word, excellence. She has high standards, and I've watched her face challenges fearlessly with the best interests of the institution and the Eastern community centered at all times. Ultimately, as I've come to know Dr. Nunez a little bit over these past 2 years, her work is grounded in faith, family, kindness, and respect. Of all things, this may be what I admire most about her. While her retirement is certainly well-deserved, I'm going to be sad to see her go, but I'm very happy to have her as a partner for 1 more year. That concludes my remarks for today, Chair Ryan.
Wonderful to hear the positive. We all need that too. I'd now like to turn the floor to Regent Ira Bloom and Dr. Rai Katuria for our faculty recognition.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know, I seem to be getting an echo. The board's Academic and Student Affairs Committee voted to move forward a resolution naming 15 CSCU faculty members and I think it's still doing whatever it was doing. I'm let me start again. My apologies. Last month, the board's Academic and Student Affairs Committee voted to move forward a resolution naming 15 CSCU faculty members as recipients of the annual 22-2023 Board of Regents campus-based and system-wide faculty awards. To recognize the level of accomplishment by CSU faculty, and I want to say this clearly, is one of the most rewarding aspects of a Regent's duties. The awards recognize faculty for excellence in teaching or research. The awards are given to faculty members who have distinguished themselves as outstanding teachers, promoting instructional improvements and innovation, or are doing exceptional research, scholarly and/or creative work that informs what they do in the classroom. And just to echo what President Chang said, the caliber of teaching and research awards winners throughout the CSCU system is very impressive. These exceptional faculty focus on student success, and these awards provide a means of recognizing their outstanding work. And this year, we are, as well as I can see from the screen, joined by the system award winners for each category. Board of Regents teaching awards are presented to faculty from each of the 4 state universities, Charter Oak, and the 12 community colleges. System-wide awards are selected from institutional awardees. 2 system-wide adjunct faculty teaching awards are given to recognize part-time faculty throughout the CSU system who have distinguished themselves as outstanding teachers. Board of Regents research awards are presented to faculty from Central, Eastern, Southern, and Western Connecticut State Universities, and 1 system-wide research award is given to the faculty member who best exemplifies high-quality research among the nominees. Board of Regents Scholarly Excellence Awards recognize community college faculty who conduct high-quality scholarly work or exemplary creative activity. 1 system-wide awardee is selected from among these outstanding faculty. Before we hear more about the campus-based winners and the system-wide awardees, I would be remiss if I failed to mention the extraordinary work of their colleagues who make granting these awards possible. First, thank you to Noreen Wilson at the system-wide office, who manages the puzzle of paperwork and correspondence for the process. And then there were members of the various selection committees who viewed countless nomination letters and letters of support from colleagues, students, and alumni. Having served on a similar committee for some years at another university, I can attest to the import of the work of these selection committees. These awards could not be granted without their commitment to the importance of this recognition. The members of these committees, I emphasize, are all previous award recipients. Dr. Ray Kathuria, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Student Affairs, will now present the awardees in each category. Dr. Kathuria, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to honor our faculty award recipients and recognize their outstanding scholarly work. Our CSCU faculty are committed to their institutions and dedicated to mentoring our students while engaging in teaching and state-of-the-art research. Their efforts contribute to student success and have a profound impact on the entire CSCU community. The Academic and Student Affairs Committee recommends to the full board the following 2022-23 Board of Regents Teaching and Research Award recipients. The nominees for the campus-based Board of Regents Teaching Awards for the Connecticut State Universities are Dr. Scott Moore, Dr. Sarah Rowe, and Dr. Jeanette Lupiniaci. And the recipient of the system-wide Board of Regents Teaching Award for the Connecticut State Universities is Dr. Sarah Rowe, Associate Professor of History at Southern Connecticut State University. Professor Rowe is in her 9th year at Southern, where she teaches a wide range of courses and is sought out to teach in the other departments and programs, not only because of her expertise in bioethics and philosophy of science, but also her deep commitment to teaching. Dr. Rowe has a transformative teaching philosophy that seeks to enable students to think about things in different ways, promote original ideas, and cultivate the ability to communicate those ideas. She develops her courses to focus on 3 objectives that will make the transformation possible: quality writing, understanding and interaction with the material, and the cultivation of original ideas. Student comments include phrases like extraordinarily inspiring, very encouraging, truly one of a kind, amazing teacher that you would have 1,000 times again, and hands down the best professor I've had at Southern. Dr. Rowe's teaching also extends into her work as the director of the Research Center on Values in Emerging Science and Technology. She has brought great energy to the center and continues its goals to focus on issues located at the intersection of science and values as implemented in emerging technologies, and to bring together scientific information and ethical implications as efforts to bring ethical-based discussions into scientific classrooms. Congratulations, Professor Rowe.
Dr. Couturier, she is on the WebEx if you would like to recognize her.
Yes. Professor Rowe, would you like to speak a few words?
Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank the Board of Regents and, of course, everyone else who has supported me in my community, including, importantly, students, but also faculty and staff and colleagues. So thank you so much for letting me do what I do and what I was made to do and enjoy doing. Thank you for all your hard work, Board of Regents, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you. Next, the campus-based Board of Regents Teaching Awards for the Connecticut Community Colleges nominees are Dr. Kobe Stewart, Mrs. Sarah Leon, and Miss Alicia Hall. And the recipient of the system-wide Board of Regents Teaching Award for the Connecticut Community Colleges is Mrs. Sarah Leon, Assistant Professor of Mathematics at Middlesex Community College. Professor Leon has distinguished herself as an outstanding teacher and has a proven track record of promoting instructional improvements for the department. Constant interaction between instructor and student is vital in promoting and supporting a classroom environment that encourages learning. In addition, she has taken the initiative to remodel the common space in the mathematics department office to make it more student-friendly, working closely with IT to get equipment. This newly remodeled space will allow all faculty to help students in an environment that is more conducive to learning. Professor Leon is a member of the Achieving the Dream Committee as the faculty lead. She has been a member of the statewide organization, Mathematics Association of Two-Year Colleges of Connecticut, where she recently became membership chair and is an executive board member. She is also a member of the Accessibility Council at Middlesex, where she conceived and created the Accessibility Newsletter to give faculty small, tangible ways to make their courses more accessible. She has participated in the Middlesex Day of Service the last 2 years and has also been involved with the Veterans Garden, which serves the Magic Food Bus, providing food to students. She is not only involved personally, but also encourages her students to take part in serving others in the community. Congratulations, Professor Leon. Professor Leon, would you like to address the Board of Regents?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I'm at a school event right now and they're mowing the lawn in the back, so I'm sorry if it's loud in the background. I just want to take this moment to say thank you so much. This is such an honor and such a surprise for me. And I just feel so lucky day in, day out to be able to work in my classrooms with my students. And the past few years of my teaching career have really been the best of my life. So I really appreciate this honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, the nominees for campus-based Board of Regents Research Award recipients for the Connecticut State Universities are Dr. Rahul Singhal, Dr. Emiliano Villanova, Dr. Dana Cassetti, and Dr. Anna Malavisi. And the recipient of the System-Wide Board of Regents Research Award, Connecticut State Universities is Dr. Rahul Singhal. Dr. Singhal joined Central as an adjunct assistant professor in fall of 2015 and became a tenure-track assistant professor of physics in fall of 2017. Prior to joining Central, Dr. Singhal had been a researcher in India and Puerto Rico. He continued his research and immediately set about establishing a research lab with a combination of grants, departmental, and university support. He has since put together an energy storage research lab that involves students, leading to presentations and publications. Dr. Singhal also does collaborative work with local and international institutions to enhance the range of facilities for his research. Over the last 5 years, Dr. Singhal has published over 30 papers, a book chapter in conducting polymers for advanced energy applications, and presented 25 papers at various national and international conferences with students and research collaborators within and outside of CCSU. The involvement of students in his research has provided excellent research skills, training for students, as well as prepared them for graduate school and the workforce. To enhance his research capabilities and reach, Dr. Singhal worked to establish MOUs between Central and 2 universities in India to facilitate research collaboration and student exchange. He also collaborates with researchers at Southern and other institutions and shares his expertise and facilities with them. Congratulations, Dr. Singhal.
I'm very thankful to the board for selecting me for this award. So I'm thankful to Dr. Toro, my department chair, for providing me the facilities for the research. I'm thankful to all of my collaborators, my fellow colleagues, and my students, my staff, for their hard work. And the last, I'm thankful for my family. That's why I'm here today. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our honorees. We're
Oh,
proud of them. And
We have just a few more.
we have more.
Sorry, yes. I was waiting for Dr. Singhal to be seated. So next, the campus-based Board of Regents Scholarly Excellence Award recipients for the Connecticut Community Colleges. The nominees are Dr. Robert Brown and Ms. Rashida Williams. And the System-Wide Board of Regents Scholarly Excellence Award recipient for the Connecticut Community Colleges is Dr. Robert Brown, Associate Professor and Coordinator of Communications from Asnanta Community College. Dr. Brown started his journey at Asnanta about 3 years ago and quickly immersed himself in multiple system-wide and local initiatives. He has been able to review the communications program at the college and come up with guidelines for the sustainability and operations of the college's radio station. While working as the coordinator of the communications program, he still has made it a priority to continue work in his area of expertise, sports communication. His work has been presented at conferences, including the Summit on Communication and Sport, where Dr. Brown presented female athletes, transgendered athletes, and the defining women's sports in the case of Connecticut high school athletics. His scholarly enthusiasm has been pivotal in and out of the classroom, where he continues to inspire the students to pursue their passions. Congratulations, Dr. Brown. And finally, the Board of Regents would also like to congratulate all of this year's campus-based Adjunct Faculty Teaching Award nominees, Professor Renee Hardlow and Professor Jean Robinson, and Dr. Hamid El Kalfi. And the two system-wide Board of Regents Adjunct Teaching Award recipients are Professor Renee Harlow and Professor Jean Robinson. Professor Harlow possesses both a passion for and a commitment to excellent teaching, and she consistently succeeds at getting students to learn more than they think they can. Her innovative yet well-honed classroom techniques set high standards for both her students and herself. And her passion for teaching stimulates student learning, as indicated by the many comments from students that recognize her empathy for them. Professor Harlow intertwines the personal and the professional, the emotional and the intellectual, in her approach to the classroom. Her student-centered philosophy is grounded in experience and balanced by clear and rigorous expectations for students. And Professor Jean Robinson from Western Connecticut State University. Professor Robinson joined the finance department in 2016 and has taught various courses at the undergraduate level. Her teaching evaluations have been consistently excellent in every category, and students perceive her as organized, well-prepared, and someone who can communicate major concepts well, is knowledgeable, and is available for consultation. Professor Robinson also engages her students with the community by inviting guest speakers to the classroom. She has strong expertise in the banking industry. With her valuable input, we were also able to incorporate some topics from another course into Money, Markets, and Financial Institutions course, and is being offered every fall semester. The department is fortunate to receive guidance from an expert in the field to develop curriculum. Please help me congratulate all of our 2022-23 Board of Regent Faculty Award recipients.
Professor Harlow is not with us, but Professor Robinson is.
Professor Robinson, would you like to address the Board of Regents?
Sure. Thank you very much. I'm honored and humbled to receive this award. I want to give thanks especially to my department chair, Professor Wong, who has helped and guided me along the way. And it's been a pleasure and an honor for me to try to impact some student lives in what little ways I can. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Robinson. I'd like to hand over the floor back to Regent Bloom.
Thank you. All of these awardees have made important contributions to CSCU. They work to bring out the best in CSCU students and make significant contributions to their academic disciplines and institutions. Their examples of commitment and dedication are an inspiration. Once again, please join me in congratulating our faculty award winners. They certainly deserve it. Congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Bloom and Provost Couturier. And now we'll move on to today's business. There are two meeting minutes to approve. They need to be approved separately. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes from the March 23rd board meeting. Is
So moved.
there a second?
Second.
Are there any changes or corrections?
Just one small one, which is to reverse chair and vice chair for Kalina Sasenka. And I am the helpful vice chair.
Good thing.
The correction is noted and we'll amend the minutes.
Thank you. Congratulations to both of you. So we will ask for a motion to accept as amended.
So
Second.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved. Next, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes from the special board meeting of April 18th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Consent agenda is approved. Next, we'll call on committee chairs for their reports. Committee Chair Ira Bloom, we welcome your report from the Academic and Student Affairs Committee.
Regent Bloom, you're muted.
The academic, I was trying to fix my audio, but apparently I fixed it too well. The Academic and Student Affairs Committee met on April 6th and May 5th. We thank the Board of Regents for approving on consent the items recommended by the committee.
Is that your report?
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Chair Bloom. We will move on to the Audit Committee. Chair Elise Wright, we welcome your report.
Regent Wright, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Madam Chair. The Audit Committee met on May 9th, 2023. Management provided an update on the auditors of public accounts who issued the statewide federal single audit on March 29th of this year. This type of audit reviews and tests compliance with federal award requirements across all state agencies. There were 3 findings related to the CSCU system, and corrective actions were put in place to address the findings. Management discussed the transition of the accounts receivable module in the Banner financial system for the Connecticut State Community College, which goes into effect July 1 of this year. Like last year's transition for the finance module, the accounts receivable transition should have no adverse effect on the fiscal year 23 close. Management discussed 2 new GASB standards, GASB 96 and GASB 101, that will be implemented for fiscal year 2023. GASB 96 affects how software subscriptions are recorded on the financial statements, and GASB 101 changes the way the accumulated compensated absence liability is calculated. Auditors Cohn, Resnick were absent but provided in advance the planning procedures and timeline for the CSCU 2020 construction audit. Auditors Grant Thornton presented the planning procedures and required communications for the Connecticut community colleges, Connecticut State Universities, and the Connecticut Community Colleges, Connecticut State Universities, and Charter Oak State College audits for the year ending June 30th, 2023. The committee entered executive session to discuss security matters, and no other matters were discussed. Thank you.
Chairman Wright, are there any questions for Chairman Wright? Thank you for your report. We'll move on to the Finance and Infrastructure Committee. Richard Balducci, the chair, is unable to join us, but I'd like to ask CFO Ben Barnes to provide the report.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The Finance and Infrastructure Committee met with Chairman Balducci present on the 10th last week, and we did not take any action. The staff provided to the committee a report on the status of our request for funding within the General Assembly and the actions that we've been taking to plan for the variety of potential outcomes. We reviewed the deficit mitigation plan that was presented publicly late in April. The deficit mitigation plan identified a potential deficit under the Appropriations Committee budget of about $110 million in fiscal 24 and about $225 million in fiscal 25. And we identified the preliminary measures that had been identified by the institutions to address that shortfall, including, as you all know, a series of a significant amount of attrition savings, as well as program reductions and potential layoffs. I'm happy to address any specific questions about that, but I think we've all seen that plan and hope fervently that we are not required to carry it through in all of its detail. We also provided an update on the legislative session, which continues now with our budget in active discussion amongst the legislative leaders. We are hopeful, continue to be hopeful that we will see an ultimate adopted budget that is an improvement over the Appropriations Committee budget. And we will keep you apprised of any new developments on that front, which I anticipate may be coming next week. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that report, and we appreciate all the hard work that went into the preparation, as you continue to do. We will next move on to
Madam Chair?
Oh, yes.
Might I just make a brief comment? I think there's a number of issues with respect to the budget, the deficit, measures of remediation, and so forth, which, of course, we will have occasion to discuss at another time once we have the results of the legislative action. There were two issues which I thought was important to bring up at the Finance and Infrastructure Committee, and we can also return to that later on, namely the proportion of deficit between the community colleges and the universities, and secondly, the extent and the permitted uses of the reserves, including the reserve at the system office. So I just wanted to footnote those two issues for a future time. Thank you.
We will note that. On the Human Resource and Administration Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On Tuesday, May 9th, the Human Resources and Administration Committee met to hear a presentation and review progress on the Shared Services Integration Plan. This is a summary of what we discussed and no votes were taken. Owing to some difficulties, specifically in the shared services payroll process, several steps have been taken to shore up reliability and communication. The payroll group has been shifted to under Human Resources for better alignment. An interim director has been hired and will work on uniform operations and standardization. An improved audit process is under development. Improved communication options are being communicated, and payroll members will increase their on-campus presence. In addition to payroll, there are other shared services improvements in development, including expanding the use of ServiceNow to automate the tracking of key processes. The shared services team continues to take feedback and make progress on processes to support our employees, and I encourage the board to continue to routinely request updates on their progress. Thank you, Madam Chair.
That was an excellent report, as always, and I appreciate the reports of all of our committees and the work that they do to make this happen. As far as our executive committee, we have no report from the executive committee. Before I call for a motion to move to executive session. Let me state that the board will move to executive session for the purposes of discussing the appointment, employment, performance, evaluation, health, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. No votes will be taken in the executive session. Additionally, there will be no discussion, action, or votes by the board following the executive session. The only action following the executive session will be a declaration of adjournment by the chair. President Chang is asked to join the Regents in executive. Therefore, allow me to call for a motion to move to described and to adjourn by declaration of the chair when that discussion in executive.
So
Have a
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The open portion of our meeting has concluded. The live streaming has been stopped.
Your live stream is stopped.